Hello students, welcome to BYJU'S. Welcome to a session on Explained. In this particular video, we'll have a discussion related to one of the very important topic, that is the concept of most favored nation. With the recent terrorist attack, the Cabinet Committee on Security met and decided to withdraw the status of MFN that India had accorded to Pakistan. With this particular decision taken, there is a lot of discussion surrounding this particular concept of MFN. So in this particular video, we'll have a very comprehensive understanding of this particular concept. Let's begin the discussion. Now before going into the issue at hand, let's try and understand what is the concept of MFN in the first place. MFN, as already mentioned, basically stands for most favored nation. Now under the concept of WTO, it has implemented three very important agreements. One is GATT, second one is GATS, and the third one is TRIPS. These three agreements basically deal with the merchandise trade, the services trade, as well as intellectual property rights or issues. Under all these three particular agreements, one common thread is the concept of MFN. That is, all the three agreements basically promote the idea of a MFN, which stands for most favored nation. Now the concept of MFN will have four very important points. One, treating other people equally, treat foreigners and locals equally. Third one is free trade, and the fourth one is predictability. Let's try and understand each one of them. Basically, let's assume there are two trading countries or trading partners, A and B. If country A gives a certain exemption, let's say in the form of a withdrawal of a tariff or reduction of tariff on the imports that are coming from country B into country A, then this particular concept of treating other people equally basically state that the same kind of an exemption has to be extended by this particular country to all the other member countries of WTO. I'll repeat the statement. Whatever benefit or exemption is provided by one country to its trading partner, the same benefit has to be provided to all the member countries of WTO. This particular principle is also referred to as treating all the member countries alike. This is the basic concept of treat other people equally. Let's say India provides an exemption or a benefit to a particular import coming from USA. Then this particular benefit has to be extended by India to all the other member countries of WTO. This particular principle is the first one. But having said so, is there any kind of an exemption given to this particular first point? Yes, definitely yes. Under WTO, let's say India enters into an agreement with a group of countries. It could be free trade agreement, it could be preferential tariff agreement, or it could be the concept of a GSP, generalized system of preferences, so on and so forth. Basically, in all these particular arrangements, what will happen? Certain exemptions will be provided to imports originating from certain countries. So whenever such agreements are entered into, is it not going against this particular first point? Definitely yes. But please understand, under the WTO guidelines, such arrangements are exempted from the concept of a most favored nation. For example, if India enters into an agreement with other member countries in the BRICS community, and let's say hypothetically says that any imports coming from all these four other members of BRICS will not be imposed with any kind of a tariff. So is it a compulsion on Government of India to provide the same exemption to all the other member countries? Not necessarily. But basically, these member countries will have to enter into an agreement which is binding or which is following the WTO guidelines. So these kind of agreements or arrangements will be an exemption to this particular concept of MFN. Second point, treat foreigners and locals equally. It basically means, let's assume a particular product X is exported from country B into country A. The moment X lands into the market of country A, it has to be treated on par with the domestically manufactured products. I'll repeat the statement. when a particular product from country B is exported and lands into the market of country A, it has to be treated on par with the domestically manufactured products. But before it enters into the market of A, can government of A impose certain tariffs such as customs? Definitely yes. But once it enters into the territory and lands in the market of country A, it has to be treated on par with the domestically manufactured products. That is the concept of a treat foreigners and locals equally. The third point under the concept of MFN is to promote free trade. Now, the free trade amongst the member countries of WTO can be promoted only when the trade barriers are reduced or withdrawn or eliminated. Now, the trade barriers could be the tariff barriers or non-tariff barriers. Tariff barriers such as customs duties, non-tariff barriers such as quotas, certifications, etc. So, with the third point, basically it says promotion of a free trade can be done with withdrawal, reduction or elimination of trade barriers. And fourth, predictability basically means that whenever the governments or the member countries make certain policies, the policies have to be predictable. For example, if country A says that certain tariffs will not be imposed on certain product lines or certain imports coming from these particular member countries, then this particular policy has to be predictable, has to be continued by this particular government. So, this is the fourth point, that is predictability. So, these are the four very important points which put together will give you the concept of a most favored nation. Now, why it is there in the news? I have already mentioned this. With the recent terrorist attack, the CCS met and decided to withdraw the MFN status that it had given to Pakistan. Now, let us try and understand what has been the historical background to this particular MFN between India and Pakistan. WTO was established in the year 1995, and with establishment of WTO, all the three agreements also came into force. Now, Government of India accorded the status of MFN to Pakistan back in the year 1996 itself. Although it was under review after the 2016 Uri attack, the Government of India has now decided to withdraw this particular status of MFN that it had accorded to Pakistan. Now, what has been the situation from the other side? Pakistan has not provided full MFN status to India. Now, what is the meaning of this particular statement? Till the year 2012, Pakistan followed a concept called as a positive list of imports, wherein it listed around 1950 product lines, in simple terms products, which were allowed to be imported from India. But please understand this, much before this, that is back in the year 2011 itself, the Cabinet Committee in Pakistan took a decision to provide the MFN status to India. But despite it being 2019 now, this particular decision is not being implemented. But on the other side, Pakistan did away with this particular idea of a positive list and introduced the concept of a negative list, wherein it listed around 1200 plus products which were not allowed to be imported from India, and through the Wagah border, it allowed only around 130 plus products to be imported from India. So, this is the basic idea of a MFN between India and Pakistan. Now, with imposition of this particular or withdrawal of this particular MFN status, what will be the impact? Now, please understand, the trade value between India and Pakistan is said to be very low. That is, please understand, in the year 2017, the total value of the trade which was conducted between India and Pakistan is said to be just over $2 billion, which is only around 0.3% of the total value of the trade conducted by India with the rest of the world. So, the value of the trade or the bilateral value of the trade is very less. Various experts have stated that withdrawal of MFN status might not have a huge impact on this particular value of a trade. Then why did Government of India withdraw this particular MFN status? Two very important reasons which have been given by Government of India are: one, Government of India wants to separate Pakistan make it stand alone on the global arena and impose pressure on Pakistan, citing this particular terrorist attack. Second very important reason cited, or economic related reason cited, is India wants to put certain restriction on the exports of the raw material such as chemicals, cotton, etc., which will again put pressure or financial burden on the companies or the industries which are functioning in Pakistan. As a result of this, we expect the cost of production or the market prices of these particular products to increase, which is a negative outcome for the industries in Pakistan. So these are the two reasons which have been cited by Government of India. Are there any issues or concerns related to this particular withdrawal of a status by Government of India? The two important concerns which have been cited by various security experts are: one, the illegal trade which is conducted between India and Pakistan through the third countries or through the gaps which are present along the border, it is expected to increase. And second, the opposition to India by various elements in Pakistan is expected to increase with this particular withdrawal of a MFN status by Government of India. So these are the various facets or the points related to this particular concept. Now let's try and solve certain questions. Question number 1, consider the following statements. 1. India has accorded the MFN status to all the member countries of WTO. This until recently was true, but with withdrawal of MFN status to Pakistan, this will become false. Second, the decision to give the status of MFN to Pakistan was taken after Agra summit in 2001. Again false, because it was taken back in the year 1996 itself. So basically the right option will be option D, both the statements are false. Question 2, consider the following statements. Article 1 of a GATT discusses provision related to MFN. Yes, it's true. Apart from Article 1, there are various other articles under GATTs also, under the TRIPS also. But the statement is related to Article 1 of GATT. Yes, it's true. As per the provisions, there can be no exceptions to MFN rule under WTO. It's false. We have already seen the concept of a GSP, concept of a PTA, FTA, so on and so forth. All of them are the exceptions to this particular idea of the MFN rule. So the right option will be option A, only first statement is true. Question number 3, which of the following countries have extended the MFN status to India? Please be very careful. The question says which countries have given the status to India. I have already mentioned this. Pakistan, no, it has not provided. Bangladesh, yes, it has provided. Nepal, Sri Lanka, all the three countries have provided the MFN status to India. So the right option will be option C, 2, 3 and 4 only. Question number 4, to which of the following countries India has extended the MFN status? Please be very careful, don't confuse with the previous question. Previous question was which of the following countries have given the status to India. The present question is to which of the following countries India has given the MFN status. With the withdrawal of the status to Pakistan, obviously it has been exempted now, or it will not be present in the answer. So Bangladesh, yes, it has given the status. Nepal, yes. Sri Lanka, yes. So the right option will be option C. The MFN is a priority in which of the following agreements of WTO? In simple terms, in which of the following agreements MFN is mentioned? In GATT, is it mentioned? Yes. In GATS, yes. In TRIPS, also yes. So the right option will be option D, 1, 2 and 3. Question number 6. Which of the following are an exception to the MFN principle? Free trade agreements, preferential trade agreements or arrangements, generalized system of preferences. All the three are an exception to the principle of MFN. So the right option will be option D. So these are the various concepts as well as the questions related to the idea of a most favored nation. Thank you. Have a good day.